Hello there and welcome back, Shy Guy Squad, and today I am filling in for Danekii yet again because unfortunately the Pebble is filling in for Dan's video as what should be a no background noise. So, as always, we're going to do a little bit of thing. This is a bit of a team breakdown first. We are playing Adams the Bee's knees, aka do bees really have beaten kneecaps, aka Barry B is his dad. And this is something that, is going to be a very interesting matchup because unfortunately there's probably been a few transactions, so I may get the team wrong and I do apologise for that in advance. If my voice isn't up to scratch, I really do apologise as well. I've been recently getting over a cold. The Bee's knees, coach of the Houston Solrockets, has a Mew. Z-Mew, especially with Munium Z allowed in this league, creates so many problems for everything because what Munium Z really allows like Adam to do is just run anything, and also the benefits of Psychic Terrain. That Skarmory for Hazard Sack, Mega Rotaria. Mega Rotaria I think has been slept on a lot this meta. With so many good fairy types being introduced, Mega Rotaria is going later and later, but it is still such a clutch Pokemon. It's still typing, mainly Fairy Spam, and just Fairy Dragons are such a good typing. Next up we have Anilihiglo, which we all know is a sort of Beast Boost killer. Scarf, Special, you know it. Sarina is his sort of main hazard remover. Also, it's a very, very offensive grass type and applies a lot of offensive pressure onto the monster. Like to set hazards up on it. Next up, we have the Diggersby, and my boys know in the NBA, if you don't fear Diggersby now, you'll fear it by the end of the season because Diggersby is such a potent threat in this metagame. Nothing really wants to switch into it. 2-hit KOs 90% of that whole metagame, and that's something you've really got to watch out for. Is those things. Suicune, Vincune, you know what it does. Stalls you out, makes you angry. It's just like bricking. It's like when you have an opening hand of 2 Thunder Dragons and no polymerizations, and it's just like a fun time for all. First draw, whoops, that's a 3rd Thunder Dragon. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes. Next up, we have Hawlucha. Hawlucha is one of those Pokemon that, on Bee's Knees teams, can be so diverse, especially if you could run like Psychic Seed with Munium Z. It's such a powerful combo. Dan's team really doesn't have anything really that much, especially after Mimikyu's Disguise has been broken. Alolan Persian's next on the list. Fast, Foul Play, Arting Shot, Electabuzz, another thing. And Articuno is very surprisingly defensive. We have seen it being used more and more diverse this season, but as always, it wouldn't be a Pokemon match if only one side had threats. And that's why Dan's team consists of Zigzagoon Black, aka Gandora, Celesteela, Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is such a very underrated Pokemon, and it's really beginning to sort of shine in this sort of Gen 7 format with the introduction of so many fairies, especially the Tapus, with Nidoqueen just being such a good counter to them. I think it's probably around 4 pick these days. It is going pretty fast and pretty hot. Greninja, we all know what Greninja does. Mimikyu, Necroshade, it's so pivotal, that one turn of Disguise. Next up we have the Virizion, and the Virizion is such a clutch Pokemon in the fact that it's one of its speeds, a very unique offensive typing. It does struggle a bit against Hitmontop though, I will just say that now. But lucky for us, the Bee's Knees does not have a Hitmontop, he has a Hawlucha, and Hawlucha sort of beats Virizion a lot easier than a Hitmontop does. Then we have the Gigalith, aka Dan's Pebble, the bane of his existence, and unfortunately for Dan, he does not have any way to get rid of it effectively. Azelf, then Ursaring, then Mega Manectric. So, let's go into the team builder this week for Dan's team, and knowing me, I've been an idiot, so I have to now put it in. Alright, so, first one is Absolute Zero, being Kyurem Black. Kyurem Black this week is Homeclaw's Facade, Fusion Bolt, Roost. Now, the main reason for this set is because Facade... Whoops, I'm going to cut that out. The main reason is this Facade doesn't really have a switch into. Fusion Bolt, is just mainly there for the Suicune, Hawlucha, and really Homeclaw's Choppleberry is also there for that Hawlucha, as I said. Next up is Stratos, Heavy Slam, Leech Seed, Flamethrower, Protect. Very, very offensive Selly, with a little bit of bulk, running that minus speed nature just to help it out a bit. Next up is Rampant Blaster, being Sludge Wave, Earth Power, Thunderbolt, Toxic. No speed investment. It's such a weird speed stats on Adam's team, and same as Dan's, really, when you consider the two. Next up is Bulk Up, Sub, Play Rough, Shadow Claw. The main reason for this set is trying to take advantage of that Suicune, especially if it's non-set up. Just really, really helps it out. Next up we have Clayman, aka the Gigalith, which is Stealth Rock's Toxic, EQ, Stone Edge, which could be another very handy thing, and then the Plasma Viceman being Volt Switch, Signal Beam, Hidden Power, Ice, Thunderbolt. So, now I have to get into the battle. And let me just quickly copy this. So, let's actually get on the right side first, because we are always going to be supporting the Shy Guy squad. And so, as we can tell from team matchup, I did not agree to this to start playing. As we can tell from team matchup, Adam is a big A-Drive fan. That's why we see that shiny Persian, which looks terrible, by the way. Please reconsider your life choices. Skarmory probably has a stack. Mainly Spikes, I think, is really just clutch in this matchup. Dan doesn't really have anything that's affected by rocks. Spikes is so much more, especially with like Whirlwind, Iron Head, and also just the Roost Rocky Helmet that helps out a lot. Alolan Persian, just Parting Shot spam, so good. Parting Shot is one of the most underrated moves of this generation in terms of just how effective it is with Alolan Persian, that is. Mew, as we said before, Mew can really do anything. And then Suicune could be any real set. And then Diggersby, there's nothing, no real switching to Banded. And then Nihilego could just be Stealth Rocks, AT Spikes as a bit of Utilimon, or it could also be the Sweeper set. And I guess we're going to have to find out what it does. Alright, so the biggest threat to this team is the Choice Band Diggersby. Now, Kyurem does have a potential to win, however, the main thing that needs to go down first is the Aristocat, because foul play is a thing. Now, that's the most crucial thing. Celesteela is just going to be a general real annoyance to his team. Nidoqueen, it has that power just to toxic and just whittle down things. Bulk Up, Mimikyu can be very, very clutch. Also, the Gigalith is a bit of taunt bait, but also at the same time, if you get up its rocks, can be really, really handy. And then same as at Manectric, you can get a bit of momentum. Just have to watch out for that Diggersby. So we do lead here with the Celesteela, as it's pretty much a free leech seed to whatever he wants to go into. Now, the biggest issue with Dan's team is he doesn't really have any way to sort of stop the momentum. Protect is good. He's just slowly wearing down this Aristocat, which is, a respectable nickname, but I'm still mad that it's Blue Adam. Fix it! This is just another free leech seed here, and this is a free flamethrower, just to whittle down the Skarmory. Does a nice healthy chunk there, and just really puts it in range of just easy pickings, I would say. Now, we do see the switch out into the Clayman. Now, Pebble, click the rocks, but don't you love it when you have a working fan? So much nicer in life, and the Pebble has no effect. Now, this Stone Edge goes off, and Skarmory just gets an ability to set up freely, be healthy again. Hello, I am health. Respect me, please. I wish I was healthy at the moment. And now we see the Volt Switch come out. Oh no, the HP Ice comes out. Now we see we see just the Hard Switch, as the Lily goes for its rocks. Lily plus Leech Seed comes into the Aristocat, and now Dan's biggest problem to this team is actually this Aristocat, because Adam is just constantly sort of parting shotting it. Now, the thing I didn't really understand about Adam's playing was why he just didn't taunt, because it did mean that like Skarmory could come back in for free, same as the Mew, but he doesn't, which I think is a bit odd. So we see the Mew click the Flamethrower there. Now, this is probably like a Life Orb, not a Life Orb, sorry, but a Nasty Plot or some boosting item. And we now see the switch into the Absolute Zero, which is the bulky set, which doesn't really have a way to touch Diggersby, but fearing it out is pretty nice. Just going for that Roost there, scanning what it wants to do, because he goes into the Suicune, as he just Hone Claws here for free. Now, this is where a bit of prep could have been done better. If this was Dragon Claw Fusion Bolt, we could have had a lot more fun, boys. Boys. But, no, this is not. This is actually just Hone Claws. And the biggest issue here is it actually just gives Alolan Persian the chances to revenge it. So, these plays this pretty smartly. A little bit of damage, a little bit of chip. Now, we do see the Roost here. It's interesting the mono normal attacking, as I said, because if it was Declaw, it could have been potentially a bit better. If it was like even just mono attacking Declaw, could have made a difference in this game. Because Kyurem Black really has no checks. The Vacuum Wave comes out, that does nothing. But the Fusion Bolt does kill, and as I said before, this Aristocat comes back in. Adam, I still don't like it shiny. Fix it! Fix it, please, Adam. As we do see the foul play go off, and now this is just a free taunt, but however, it does run the risk of if it is Stealth Rocks, but very nicely done there. Fur Coat, proving why Alolan Cat is so annoying this meta. Getting that free parting shot off. That foul play does an absolute ton to Dan Celesteela. That's the risk when you run, maxed offensive Celesteela. And this really just sort of shows shows Dan really, what he sort of missed in this prep was this, little impersion. It's just been parting, shotting. Now it goes out into the Suicune, and now this sort of comes into a speed-tie sort of situation, because if this is a Subcune, or just gets the burn with Scald, it could be in a very dangerous position. But the Toxic does come off. Very, very lucky there from Dan, I think, in that regard. Adam could have played for game if it was Rest Talk. Plasma Weissman comes in, and I do believe we see just another Scald, which is very, very nice. Just picking off things, and it gets that burn again. People say it's hacks, but I think really with Scald, if it's not a burn, you are getting lucky. You are getting lucky. Interesting play by Dan there. I think the play was actually the Thunderbolt. I can understand why. It doesn't want to get that Lily of the Beast boost. He now has to go into his Necro Shade. And this is just a free bulk up. This is actually just a Shadow Claw here, as we do see it into the Skarmory. No Rocky Helmet, interestingly. We do see the bulk up, as this is a free Iron Head. And this just really sort of scares out the Mimikyu, because it can't really do too much. It goes to the Shadow Claw, does 27. As we do see the Whirlwind come out, which was very crucial by Bee's Knees. Very, very nice play on his behalf. Sometimes we have to reward our opponents, and and it's another free Whirlwind. And Dan now gets the Switch initiative, and I think the play there was actually to go into Selly, just to get up a free Leech Seed. Now we do see the Shadow Claw come out, and that is another drop. But however, Nihilego is just in a really good position after Diggersby chips down the Necro Shade with a player off. It's just such in a good position now where Dan has to switch it into the Rampant Buster. But this is where the burn comes into such clutch, because if it was not burnt, it could have done a little bit more in this matchup. And that's very, that's just the game we play, boys. It wouldn't be interesting really if we didn't have hacks. There'd be no big upsteps. It'd be like, being a Patriots fan in 07. So we do see the Cure and Black come back in, and this is an interesting sort of exchange of events, because we'll see the burn. Adam has been training his Suicunes with the Kettle when it goes to those Scalds, because it has burnt every time. Now, thinking that this is a free setup fodder, this is where Adam couldn't be more wrong if he wanted to. It's a free Facade here, and it's a dead. But however, this is just where the part of the battle now, when Nihilego can just really clean up, really proving to itself why it is such a threat in this metagame. Beast Boost with the special attack raise just makes it so much better, and also just the spikes damage really just adds up. And unfortunately for Dan, that is a 3-0 loss. It hurts to see these happen, but unfortunately, even the best have to lose. Lose, really. Oh well, until next time,